My fellow Fijians, to all our citizens here at home and abroad, I wish you all a happy and a prosperous new year. I will not wish you a year without challenges, but I sincerely hope that 2025 will be a year of renewed strength, hope, and confidence to ensure prosperity and unity for our beloved nation. I say this with great optimism, positivity, and patriotism, because I and most, if not all of us, have faith in Almighty God, in our people, and in our nation. The first verse of our national anthem inspires this sense of optimism and patriotism, and I quote, "Blessings grant, O God of nations, on the Isles of Fiji, as we stand united under noble banner blue, as we honor and defend the cause of freedom ever, onward march together, God bless Fiji," end of quote. Ladies and gentlemen, 2025 will be a special year in our history as a nation, as we celebrate our Emerald Jubilee, which is our 55th anniversary of independence. As the Fijian Vuvale, we celebrate this new year with a sense of renewed hope, forged with love and forgiveness, and to build a future based on unity and goodwill. Now is the time to look back and reflect on the years gone by, acknowledge what we have achieved under previous leaderships, also acknowledge where we had gone wrong, and commit ourselves to what we hope to achieve as we move forward. We should build on what our forefathers and founding and successive leaders have left us and shape the future for those who will come after us. When we gained our independence in 1970, our founding fathers had hopes and a vision for our nation to be a united and progressive one through multiracialism, so that all our people would have a bright future. Ladies and gentlemen, as we reflect on 2024, the year has been a year of resilience and renewal for each of us, and collectively as a nation. Together we have faced challenges with courage and determination, and we are grateful for our achievements and celebrated those achievements to inspire hope for the future. To the civil servants, first responders, and members of the disciplined forces who have ensured our safety and upheld law and order throughout the year, vinakawalevu. Your dedication, your commitment, and your sacrifices exemplify the values of our beloved Fiji. To those undertaking peacekeeping duties in the various theaters of war and conflict abroad, and to those undertaking humanitarian missions who are away from your families at this time, including Fiji's advanced team in Vanuatu, I express the thanks of a grateful nation. To the private sector, to the giants of industry, to those micro, small, and medium enterprises who employ the large number of our people, vinakawalevu, you are the engine room of the nation, and you keep our economy stable and manageable. My fellow citizens, on the eve of our 55th year of independence, and as your Prime Minister, I take on the responsibility to bring closure and healing after the political upheavals that have disturbed the unity and cohesion of our nation. The coalition government is establishing the Truth and Reconciliation Commission to promote truth-telling, healing and restoration of relationship and social cohesion. On the international stage, the promotion of the ocean of peace spearheads our foreign policy. Ladies and gentlemen, as part of this address to the nation, I want to focus our vision on lifting the most marginalized and poorest of the poor out of poverty by a program of targeted poverty alleviation of one village at a time. Of course, this will not be done overnight, but it can be done. And we have seen it done in other nations who put their minds to it to ensure everyone has a livelihood, whether working for someone else or working for themselves. We all deserve a life of dignity. It is time to stop giving handouts, and it's time to work on lifting our people out of the cycle of poverty and reliance. This calls for innovation and investment. It has to be a whole-of-country approach, but starting with one village at a time. The private sector is key to this effort, facilitated naturally by government. The coalition government has, in the last 2 years, continued to implement various initiatives to ensure the progressive realization of the right to housing and sanitation, the right to adequate food and water for all Fijians. Your government has increased investment in infrastructure, provision of safe and clean water, access to electricity, free and quality education, and better health services to ensure improvements to the standard of living and quality of life for all Fijians. Ladies and gentlemen, to improve water supply access, the rural water and sanitation policy focuses on ensuring access to clean and safe drinking water, basic sanitation, and hygiene facilities by upgrading and extending water infrastructure to rural and maritime areas. With a budget of $259 million, the Water Authority of Fiji are also implementing a number of initiatives that include a rainwater harvesting scheme, which provides households in remote communities with tanks and equipment to store rainwater. In addition, the government continues to administer existing social protection programs, such as the Family Assistance Scheme, Care and Protection Allowance, Disability Allowance Scheme, Child Protection Allowance, Social Pension Scheme, and the Transport Assistance Scheme Voucher Program. Ladies and gentlemen, with respect to housing, the Langi Housing Development Project in Suva has now been completed with a total of 154 flats, which provide affordable and decent housing to 36 additional families from low-income households, particularly families formerly residing in squatter settlements. The government also continues to assist informal settlements by drafting proper tenancy agreements and improving basic infrastructure by the formalization of informal settlements. This involves the upgrading and development of informal settlements on state and Itauke land by providing basic infrastructure and security of tenure. A total of $13.5 million was allocated for the formalization of informal settlements under the 2024-2025 national budget. Through the Ministry of Local Government and Housing, ladies and gentlemen, we are also assisting in the relocation of families currently residing in the Fiji Muslim League land in the Suva suburb of Nambour. The first home buyers program got a $5.5 million allocation in the current budget to provide financial assistance to families and individuals intending to construct or purchase their first homes. The project targets two categories of income earners. First, those who earn below $50,000 per annum, and second, those that earn between $50,000 and $100,000 per annum. There is also a first land purchase program, which allows income earners that earn below $50,000 to purchase their first piece of titled land. Programs for affordable housing and housing assistance are available to eligible individuals and families. The Rural Housing Assistance Program was reintroduced in 2023. It is aligned with the government's long-standing efforts to ensure safe and resilient housing for the rural and maritime communities. The government of Fiji has committed $3 million to this initiative, which will not only improve living standards, but will also provide security for the rural populace, including women. Through this coalition government's housing assistance program, young mothers like Marise Nuasa had been able to have a new 2-bedroom timber house built for her and her 3 children. Tragedy struck when her husband died in a boating accident in the Lambasa River in 2018, and 2 of their 5 children also died due to illnesses not long after. Thanks to the Rural Housing Assistance Program, this Wairiki mother in Sitiveni can have a home to care for her family. The program has 4 schemes, which covers the payment of cartage of costs for housing materials, construction of a new house, retrofitting of existing structure to withstand Category 4 to 5 cyclones, completion of existing structure, construction of homes for native tree resource owners, and provision of housing for recipients of social welfare assistance. Under this program, applicants are required to pay 1/3 of the total project cost, except for assistance offered to recipients of social welfare assistance, which is fully funded by the government. Fellow citizens, the coalition government continues to make progressive efforts to realize the right to a fair minimum wage, aligning with the ILO 48 Minimum Wage Fixing Machinery Convention number 26. Earlier this year, a comprehensive review resulted in the increase of minimum wages in 2 tranches of $4.54 per hour from the 1st of August 2024 and to $5 per hour to be effective from 1 April 2025. These progressive increases assist in the alleviation of poverty and protection as well as retention in Fiji of our workers. Additionally, the coalition government's $9.2 million Watukoula strike settlement will provide some closure to women like Mrs. Eliseva Ngonovo, whose late husband was among the 368 miners that lost their jobs when they staged a strike in Watukoula gold mine in 1991. For years, she and her 5 children suffered the indignity as well as other families of the striking miners living in dilapidated, inhumane housing barracks. Achievements in the field of education also contribute to lifting families out of poverty and the poverty cycle. Government's consistent and targeted investment in the education of Fijian students has led to the historic achievement of universal primary education and had given a record number of Fijian children access to secondary and tertiary education. Ladies and gentlemen, in addition to free education being provided to primary and secondary school children, the government continues to increase scholarships for tertiary studies through the Tertiary Scholarships Loan Services, TSLS, bus fare assistance program, free textbooks, and subsidized transportation to school. With a budget allocation of $150.5 million to the TSLS, some 9,940 students have continued their tertiary studies in 2024, while 10,830 new students took up tertiary studies. An additional $10 million worth of student loans were written off and converted work bond. Furthermore, over 200,000 of our children are benefiting from the $40 million back-to-school support scheme of the coalition government. Many parents like Julia Tikoenabuli of the village of Nuku on Moala Island in Lau province have been able to keep their children in school because of this assistance. The Matua program, provided with government assistance, allows school dropouts to complete their secondary school education. Further, to guide the education sector, Cabinet approved the development of a national technical and vocational education training policy which assists in addressing skills gaps and high levels of dropouts among young people. In September of 2023, the Fiji National Education Summit was convened, and the outcome of the summit saw the adoption of the 2023 Denarau Declaration, which was launched by the Ministry of Education, together with the 3-year strategic plan, 2023 to 2026. And in line with the declaration, the government has developed a special and inclusive education SIE policy to guide education policies, programs, and initiatives aimed at ensuring inclusiveness to all students. Ladies and gentlemen, government policies in education and poverty alleviation, as well as the imperative to improve social cohesion and national unity through truth-telling and healing for reconciliation and closure, are key to my ambition to future-proof Fiji. It is a work in progress, and the year 2025 will be a turning point in this effort. Government cannot do it alone, and I call on all Fijians to be heard, to participate, and to have their say in these processes and consultations. My prayer for all the people of Fiji for the coming year 2025, is for faith, which makes things possible, hope, which makes things work, love for one another, which makes things beautiful. May all the gifts be bestowed on the people of Fiji. On behalf of the government and my own family, I wish every Fijian a prosperous New Year 2025. May God bless you all. May God bless Fiji.